Righty ho. So yeah, I haven't uploaded a video in a while, and I don't know what's going on with this phone. I had a bit of a problem with the audio. It looks laggy on my screen. I don't know if it's the same for you guys. Yeah, it looks really looks a bit laggy. I'm not quite sure if it's just overheating. Either way, this is the bicycle setup. So I got another rack, which is pretty bog standard. It's pretty easy to set up actually as well, but obviously because they're generic racks, they never exactly fit the bike. And this is the main problem I have with the other rack as well. And unless I'm doing something wrong, which is very possible, there's no better way to do this. Like this here, there's a little gap. I'm going to put another screw in there maybe. Problem is if I put the screw in there, it puts pressure on the brake, and the brake already is really catching on the bottom of that. And there is no way to better this, trust me. In that respect, I've looked at everything, because these aren't really what's securing it. This is just to keep this is just an extra little bit of cross security, you could say. This doesn't actually stabilize it, obviously, because that can go up and down without the top bracket. I tried putting this on the bottom, but there was even less give between the brake system and this. The problem you have with this is as well, it bends, which at least is prevented by, they actually supplied these, it's not very professional, but these ties. So that's as tight as it gets, and that will lock it and hopefully stop it moving. But even the slightest 0.5 millimeter can catch when there's weight on there. It's already catching now. And it's not really too much of an issue other than the fact that it's going to start rubbing this. It's literally going to start rubbing it and breaking it. I actually conveniently got replacement parts for that brake system when I got this rack, so if that happens it shouldn't be much of an issue. I'm wondering though, like with these systems, when the tyre goes, well, you flip it on your back, on its back, don't you? So I shouldn't have to yeah, remove that to take the tyre off. That should be fine. But yeah, it's quite good because I've got a lot of extra space now, and I can take weight off the backpack and put it on the front pannier. I was using one of these are still broken, but I actually like them that way. So now they're singles instead of the pannier rack being on the back here and kind of swinging with the crosswinds, which is just irritating. I prefer just having that single strap to the back, and now I can strap the other single to the front. Originally, I actually had it like a hybrid, just tucked beneath here with the handlebar bag on the top. But yeah, this is going to relieve some weight. Not that the backpack was ever a particular problem, actually. Like I quite liked having it. If anything, it's more stable. Just the negatives are that it places more weight on your, well, obviously on your back, and consequently on your backside. The pressure into the seat means that after 100 or so Ks, it's killing. But yeah, the other issue with the backpack was it would rub a little bit on the base of your back, but that's because basically I strapped these, which again is totally fine. Like I really only had an issue, not even an issue, like a little bit of rub pain one time, and that was because just 249 Ks in 24 hours. But yeah, this it's pushing on the back of your spine. But again, you have to cycle for a long time for that to actually have an effect. So yeah, I got 4 more inner tubes. I don't know what this is. It's actually fit on the plane. Bike oil, just Amazon stuff, that liquid form that would be below the 100 ml. Some lube there. I'm actually going to lube up that little bit of the brake, just ease its rub. But yeah, yeah. Hopefully that was a lot easier than I expected it to be. It's definitely a better version than the one I had before. In fact, the one I had before, did it have the tie? Yeah, I think it did have space for the tie, but I didn't clock that, having no experience. I didn't realise you could have tied that off. So perhaps that would have been better. But at least you've got the, I guess, the side braces now, so it's a little bit of a better design. Again, it's still pretty light, not as light as the other one, but light enough. And yeah, I'm in Plovdiv at the moment. I haven't really seen much of Plovdiv. Every time I get an apartment, I quite like just chilling, doing just a bit of admin, and all this kind of stuff. So I've kind of decided, I obviously got the bike sort of repaired. This is the chain that I bought that he put on it. I think I stated that in another video, but I haven't honestly cycled it enough to see if there's a problem. It does feel very strange. It does feel very strange, and I'm not quite sure if it has been repaired properly, but it's going to be a while before I find out, because I've basically decided, again because of time, I booked this apartment for 3 days, decided to extend for another 3, and then I've got an apartment in Istanbul booked. So I've basically decided not to cycle to Istanbul, and it's probably for the best, to be honest, because Istanbul itself is so fucking insanely big. Once you're in Istanbul, just to get to where I'm staying from one side of the city, which isn't even the furthest point away from the place I'm staying, which is in the centre, 37 kilometres, just that little bit. So if I were to cycle, the extent of Istanbul and its suburbs is well over 100. And the pace that you'd be going would be so slow, it would take probably 2 days to do that, just because of the traffic and the working your way in and out of the little roads and whatnot. God, when I look at the bike through the camera, it really is too small for me. That frame is so tiny, it's ridiculous. So yeah, I'm just going to take the train. So yeah, the non-cheating policy is over. I could have done it. It's just honestly, frankly, been quite boring. Cycling is nice if you're going through Tajikistan, the Pamir Highway, and doing kind of off-road trails or in nice areas. But doing the motorway drag from Eastern Europe to Istanbul would not be at all pleasant. It's kind of like, what's the point? It is nice to say you cycled all the way. And I certainly would have done if things weren't messed up constantly with the bicycle and having to, I'd already booked things and having to backtrack, and the trains in Bulgaria are just so ridiculous that, the place I wanted to backtrack to originally, which was Dragoman, as I said before, my bike originally broke on the Bulgarian side of the Serb border. Just to get a train back there's only one train at 5 a.m. in the morning and then one back at 6 p.m. So it would just basically fuck the schedule, because I was going to try and bang that out in a day, but I couldn't because of that nonsense. So I was going to get the train back and obviously cycle back to Sofia to hit that 44k's that I missed, which actually happened to be the easiest 40k's ever. Judging by the map, it's downhill all the way. So it's just a really irritating thing, that was. And then, basically just decided, well, fuck it, it's pointless anyway. I never really wanted to cycle the European part anyway. It was all about Iran. The whole trip's about Iran, and Iran is postponed because they basically said that as British, Canadians and Americans aren't allowed to go on anything other than a tour. And then they rip you off on the visa fee. Without the tour alone, the visa fee is €303, £303, sorry. And then the tour, I don't know what that would be, but it's a tour, so yeah, there's no point in even going on that. So I'm going to go to Yemen. I'm going to ditch the bike, not ditch it, sorry, I'm going to drop it off. So I'm still going to cycle all the way across Turkey, the whole of Turkey, and then I'm going to keep the bike for winter, because it's a problem, obviously, with the winter. If I can't go through Iran, then I have to go through Russia and Kazakhstan, and it's like minus 40 in the steep. So, and then Russia won't give a visa most likely, because their policy is you have to be in your country of origin to apply for a visa. So that only leaves one option, which is to take the boat across the Caspian to Kazakhstan from Azerbaijan. And Azerbaijan, as you know, is my least favourite country in the world. I think it's the most disgusting place on this entire planet. So funny how that came back around as it being the only option for now, at least. So that's the gist. That's the game plan. We're going to do Iraqi Kurdistan. We're going to do Iraq. We're going to do Yemen. We're going to be dotting back to some places I've been before for connections, like the UAE and Kuwait, and obviously Turkey and Georgia. These kinds of places. Caucasus is great anyway. It's one of the best. I mean, Georgia, if you haven't been to Georgia before, was absolutely stunning for trail running, for cycling. It's just really good fun. Really great country. So yeah, that's the gist, and I'll leave it there, 10-minute mark, and I'll have something posted hopefully when I get to Istanbul.